A new grim report about water levels at Lake Mead has been revealed.
Lake Mead is headed for an even more painful decline than previously thought.
Water levels are dropping to the lowest levels ever recorded.
One dry winter could potentially plunge the system towards what they're calling system crash. It's a pretty dire situation.
Now, even more bleak here is that these new projections are illustrating what could be an additional 30-foot decline over the next 2 years.
Yeah, we have to stay on top of it. Water, of course, a lifeline for us. And so many take it for granted, right? Just turning on your faucet, you expect it to come on. But if we continue the way we're going, we're going to have some major issues.
Folks, even these newscasters, the local newscasters, are having a terrible time believing the numbers that they're getting out of these projection models.
Let's talk about it.
Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Joey, you're watching VegasDtech. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm back out here today, guys, with another Lake Mead water report. It's a glorious 104 degrees, but I gotta get it done. Today's water level at Lake Mead is 1,046.76 feet. I've been taking a look at the water projections. I look at it every morning when I wake up, and we are literally seeing a foot of water drop every week. Like 2 inches of water drop per day. Now, one of the things that's exacerbating this water loss at Lake Mead is evaporation. I didn't know this, but I kept on asking around, and some of my friends at the university showed me their projections, and they show that just in evaporation alone, get this number, Lake Mead loses 500 million gallons of water per day from evaporation. Can you just fathom that? I mean, I can't even fathom that number. 500 million gallons of water is evaporated per day, or 195 billion gallons of water evaporated per year. Take your choice. Or 5.3% of the total water in the reservoir evaporates every single year. Take your choice. It's all bad. New water update. Just in the time that I spoke to you, since I've given you the last number, it's gone down another 2 inches. 1046.36 from 1046.74, which is what I got this morning. Guys, I can't make this stuff up. This stuff is happening so quickly. I used to give you guys a projection of the water with the arrows, and I would take the 14 measures, and some days it would be down, some days it would go up, some days it would break even. Folks, there ain't none of that. Right now, it's 14 days down. It'll continue to be 28 days down. It'll be 6 months, 12 months down. And that's what we're expecting to see this summer. I don't like to bring news like this, guys, but somebody's got to, shed some light to it, because the local news teams, guys, they will give you a little bit of an update as to what's going on. They don't want the communities to panic by saying, oh man, you got to be really, really concerned. But I would. With these numbers that I'm about to give you today, guys, I would be very concerned. I know Las Vegas is a gambling city, but we are gambling dangerously close with these water numbers here, because Deadpool is 895 feet. And when I tell you what the projections are, the federal projections are 2028, we will be at 1,011. That's not very far away. And more important than how much water is actually stored at Lake Mead is the efficiency of those turbines at the dam to produce power. If those numbers come true that these federal reports are laying in for the next 2 years, the dam is going to be down to 20% power efficiency. Where's all these people going to get their energy from? These are some huge concerns. So federal projections show that the water at Lake Mead is expected by this time 2027 to drop to 1,015 feet. Folks, power production starts to dip at 1,050, and we're at 1,046 right now, right? They're saying that they expect the water drop to go down to 1,015 by 2027, and then by 2028, they're expecting the water drop to go all the way down to 1,011 feet. And Park Services absolutely know what's coming. They would not have put all that infrastructure out at the lake. In the time that I've been there, they've only put waffle board in the water. They never put what they have. And I went out there, you guys seen it. They have all that new infrastructure, and I'm talking about concrete. They have to extend that ramp with concrete. They know what's coming, guys. It's serious, and it's time that people take notice. Here's a graph of the water the past few years. If you take a look, the all-time low in 2022 was 1,040. Okay, that is when all the bodies, the boats, and the barrels were coming out of the lake, and it had national media attention. That was in 2022. Then take a look at the graph for 2023. We had that unprecedented atmospheric river situation. The snowpack in the Rockies jumped up to 135% of what they're used to. Hey, everybody was saved. Jesus came to town, right? And you see the graph just shoot back the other way. Well, take a look at the next 2 preceding years in the tank. 2024, 2025 in the tank, right? Here, let me put up another screen. Let me show you what 2026 looks like. It is the lowest ever. This graph, guys, is taking a dive like a kamikaze pilot straight into the dirt. That is 25 feet lower than the all-time low that ever was out here. Here, guys, I got a local news clip, and here's what the local news reporters have to say about it.
This is not welcome news. However, that bathtub ring around Lake Mead seems like it's getting bigger every year, and a new report shows it's about to get way worse.
Yeah, Mike Allen is here with us in studio now to break down the report from the Department of the Interior. So, Mike, what do we know?
Well, it's not good. We were already expecting lower levels soon for Lake Mead, but now that forecast has gotten even worse. Lake Mead is currently sitting at 1,050 feet above sea level, and just 1 year from now, the feds are predicting a drop of 35 feet, which is 5 feet lower than last month's report had forecasted for next year at this time. And here's a double whammy for you. The guidelines we're using for water distribution from the Colorado River are almost 20 years old. They were written when the water level was 50 feet higher than it is now. And some of the water rights rules also are like a century old. So not only does that tell you we're working with far outdated plans, but you'll also notice it took us 20 years to drop 50 feet, and this projection has us falling 35 feet in just 1 year. This makes sense when you consider the Rockies, where the Colorado starts, just had such a dry winter that they literally have no snowpack right now. That's a fact. Like, they usually have snowpack by June, the last of it kind of melting off. They haven't had snowpack for weeks, and the projected level for Lake Mead next year at this time, about 1,015 feet, would be an all-time low by a pretty large amount, by like 30 feet. And for reference, we're already at the point that power generation at Hoover Dam is made harder by lower levels. But even these grim projections are higher than dead pool status, as it's called. That's when water would no longer be high enough to even flow through the dam at all. So that's good. But of course, Dave and Kirika, something's got to give with these water rights. And food for thought, the biggest user of Colorado River water is those big alfalfa farms in the Colorado desert, you know, by the Salton Sea down there. About half of that alfalfa is shipped overseas to feed cattle in other countries. You'd think humans would take precedent over cows in Asia, but guess we'll see.
They probably pay more.
They probably pay more.
I'm curious, we're looking at the video of all the boats and all the things that were submerged a few years ago. Of course, the infamous barrel. I mean, if it drops another 35 feet, Lord knows what's going to be uncovered from the depths of Lake Mead.
Probably a lot of spelunking. That might be the only fun thing for people to do about this story, you know, as they're conserving their water. But luckily, again, you know, we recycle like 90% of our water here in the valley.
Right.
It's not our fault. You can blame the alfalfa farmers down in California.
Yeah, we're doing our part.
Yeah.
The other states have to step up their conservation.
Yep.
But that's the fight going on right now. So.
Yeah, that's right. And the big problem really is it's the use it or lose it laws. So the alfalfa farmers, you kind of can't blame them because they lose their water rights if they don't use it. It's just that the rules need to be drawn up differently.
All right, guys, so I have another map that I want to show you up here, a graph, and it is the National Drought Monitor. What has me very concerned, folks, we all know all of our water here at Lake Mead comes from where? The Rockies, the Colorado River. Let's take a look at the drought monitor right now for Colorado. Now, guys, I use an acronym called AMSI, okay? AMSI is going to be the D2 levels, which is the drought monitor levels, okay? AMSI is going to start with abnormal, moderate, severe, extreme and extraordinary. Okay, that's the extremity levels. Those are the extremities of the drought in the state. Now take a look at Colorado right now, folks. Look at all that. Look at how deep red, and look at where it's primarily located, right at the Rockies. Okay, 95% of the state of Colorado right now is in a D2 drought. D2, okay? And then 10%, the 10% that is hovered right above the Rockies, facing the northwest, that right now is in a D4. Okay, the state has declared a D4 drought. Right now, I've taken a look at the snowpack that has been up at the Rockies. Remember in 2023, I said that they had that unprecedented snowpack here? They got 135% of what they were expected. You know what it was this year? 20%. 20% of what they were expected, guys. And the heat, the melt came in 2 to 3 weeks earlier than normal. Now, I totally understand why that water percentage is as low as it is this year. Guys, even the Navajo Nation has filed a state of emergency. Okay, Navajo Nation, their states are included in what? Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and some of the southern parts of Colorado. Those guys, they don't need all kinds of projections and graphs. Navajo Nation could just go right down to the river and take a look, and they can see exactly what's going on, guys. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, this is a big flowing river. It looks pretty bad this year, guys. It looks like a creek. You know what I mean? They don't need anybody to tell them what's going on upstream and downstream. They could just look right down in that river and tell the water is pretty bad. You know what I mean? And like I said, Navajo Nation, guys, declaring state of emergency. You know, folks, when I first started doing the reports concerning Lake Mead and its dwindling water, there was a lot of influencers, Las Vegas influencers, that pretty much didn't like the fact that I was saying the stuff that I was saying. They were like saying, Joe, you're doom and gloom. You're telling everybody about all the bad stuff that's going on with the water. There's nothing bad going on with the water. Vegas is conserving. We're the #1 conserving state. We're leading the nation and the world in our water conservation efforts. Right? And it made me kind of feel bad for a little bit. Like, hey, man, am I really, you know, a doom and gloomer? But all those influencers, guys, that used to be the cheerleaders for Las Vegas and how wonderful and beautiful it is. Dude, the #1 topic that they're talking about right now is just how terrible the water is out at Lake Mead. It can't be denied anymore. With the numbers that we're getting right now, guys, if it wasn't a concern then, it definitely will be a concern now. Because if we had boats, barrels, and bodies coming out of the water at 1,040 feet, at 1,015 feet that's coming, you're gonna have hotels, motels, and casinos coming out of that lake. You'll see, and we'll be the ones out there to show you with my shoreline reports, which I plan to get back out to Lake Mead next week. Yeah, I don't want to go out to Lake Mead every single week. I don't think that, you know, the shoreline reports are going to be that conclusive. But if I go out there every 3 feet of water drop, that's going to be significant, folks. Look, guys, I constantly look downfield. That's just the type of individual that I am. I look downfield at the next 3 months, 3 years in advance. And I try to make my plans way in advance. And when I take a look at this water and I take a look at how it's going, look, the federal government, the state officials, the water authority, they're basically taking water cups and they're transferring water from one cup to another, and they're just trying to balance what they have. You can control these locks and these dams and how they regulate water, but you cannot control what Mother Nature is going to give you. You can't control that. And these guys have to do a better effort. They have to make better strides at how they're developing, how they're building, how they're allowing these cities to flourish and grow out here in the desert. It makes no sense, guys. Vegas is full. Phoenix is full. How many more people do you need to move out into the Mojave Desert where water is a scarcity for people to understand maybe that's not a cool place to go? You know, I moved out here in what, 83, 84, 85. We never heard of water being a problem out here. You would go to the dam and there would be so much water, they would have to open up the spillways to allow water to overflow the sides because we had entirely too much water. I realize that people have the right to move wherever they want to because they don't like their local, you know, government and all the taxes and regulations where they're at. But guys, you got to think, you know, is moving out to the desert a smart thing? Guys, I've been a native of Las Vegas for over 5 decades. A lot of people, guys, that are out here right now, they have no clue what's going on at Lake Mead, and I just feel that, you know, it is my duty to, guys, to bring you closer, even for people that don't live out here in Las Vegas. There's people around the world. I've got people in New Zealand, Australia, UK. They watch this stuff. They're concerned about what goes on at Lake Mead. And it's funny that all the way around the world, you have people that are concerned about what's going on at Lake Mead, but the people that actually live in these houses here don't really care. Some of these people here have never been to Lake Mead, not once in the entire time that they've lived out here. So they have no clue as to what it looks like out there. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out for you. It is hot. This camera right here is blinking red, showing that it's in an overheat state. And I'm gonna have to go ahead and get this thing turned off before it quits on me. And I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the house, get this thing edited and get it out to you. I'm gonna try to get it out to you today. So my friends, you guys be well. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode. If you like this information, found it beneficial, useful, or even entertaining, please do me a kindness. Like and subscribe, share this with a friend, and I will catch you guys on the next upload. You guys be well. Joey, VegasDtech, take it easy.